here we are with Dr. Smart, who has been predicting. Doc, thank you very much. You met Annie Ampofu before?
Hi.
Okay, she's the host for tonight's show, and she's also the host for Good Morning Ghana sometimes. Yeah. But she was at the stadium, so she saw everything that happened, and we've been congratulating her for the Metro TV coverage. They say you predicted that John Boadu will win. He did not win. What happened?
Yeah, thank you so much, and a good evening to our cherished viewers. We did predictions. I explained it to the first time I spoke about it.
Let me just mention that you correctly predicted Ashanti regions.
Yes, yes.
You gave Wontumi what percentage?
57.8.
And he came up with what?
57.8.
Oh, to the letter?
Yes.
0.8?
Yes, yes.
Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, I heard it.
I didn't hear that.
Paul did one fantastic analysis.
You predicted 57.8.
Yes.
And he got 57.8.
Yes, that was a prediction, and that was a
okay, so how many people did you interview?
In that study, I did about 540 delegates, and that was about 62% of the total delegates expected to vote. I estimated the elevation factor. Elevation factor is one person's view superimposed onto the total expected delegates' views. So that was about 1.5. So let's say one person's view would have represented 2 of the delegates going to vote. Yeah. So all these things gave.
Oh, so that's how you do it. So you do 500 people.
Yes.
And each person is 2. So
yes.
that's 1,500.
Yes. For example.
Okay. So if 10 of the 500 tell you they will vote for Paul Adom-Otchere,
yes,
that's times 2.
Yes. So they are
so
their views. Yes.
So that's 10, 10, 10.
Yes.
So that's 30.
Yes.
So then you're going to attribute 30 to Paul Adom-Otchere in the analysis. And then you calculate a percentage of that over the whole.
Absolutely.
That's interesting.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't mean that delegates don't vote. So if you look at the Saturday's results, Ashanti region, whenever they chose a candidate, they went for the candidate en masse. How does that happen? Is it are they talking to each other? Are they looking at the person and coming to the same conclusion? How does that happen?
Back in Ashanti region, it looks like the people were demanding for a place in the national structure. Yeah. They are of the view that they give the party the majority of votes, and so one of their own should represent at least one of the strategic key positions. And fortunately, JFK was doing well, and they needed to give him the maximum support. And
but
they
gave Nana B as well.
Yeah, they gave Nana B. Nana B started very well, had a good gap. In fact, in my initial estimation, he was in a very commanding lead. But as the process inched closer to the D-Day, his brother Titus closed up the gap.
Apparently, Titus won in every region apart from Ashanti, over Nana B. Yeah. But Ashanti's results then turned everything the other way.
Yeah. So in an earlier interview, I advised that he shouldn't be worried so much with the outcome of the results. He did very well under the circumstance, only that he did not start his campaign early. If he had started, yes.
If he had started, he could have won.
It would have been a very.
So the length of time you campaign is important.
Very important.
How early you declare.
Yeah. You make somebody take a lead. In research, usually, if somebody takes a lead, as you measure the impact, somebody takes the lead, it is quite difficult sometimes to overtake. So yes, the advice is that if they really would be contesting, they should show their intentions early and they should start the process.
So why did you get the John Boadu prediction wrong?
I didn't get John Boadu's prediction wrong. It was, as you can see on the
okay,
yes.
So yes, so sure. So this is your map.
Yes.
And the way the map was going to work.
Yes.
All right. So red is what?
Red is JFK.
Red is JFK?
Yes.
And blue is John Boadu?
And blue is John Boadu.
From a cursory look, and which one is more? The blue is more? Yeah, it looks like that, Doc. So if the blue is more, then you were saying John Boadu was going to win.
So this is what happened. If the elected ones were to vote, more was going to go for JFK than JB.
But your map doesn't show that.
Yes, the map doesn't show that, but the reason behind this map is that here is too close to call, and that was my interpretation to this. Though somehow the blue is dominating the red, JB is dominating JFK, my conclusion was that this was too close to call, because this data was collected somewhere a month to the elections, and as the days draw nearer, a lot of things could happen. the college interviewed did not include the other guys. These were only elected delegates. It didn't include
members of parliament.
Members of parliament,
national
executives, and the feel was that the whip system was going to go in favor of
John Boadu. Obviously.
Yeah, definitely. So I called it close to call because I mean we had about 3 or 4 weeks to the election.
But on Saturday in the morning, did you know that JFK was going to win?
Yeah.
How did you know?
You were at the stadium.
I wasn't at the stadium.
Well, okay, that's fine. When the
so I would say that you know,
during the introductions, I heard that
yes,
on Facebook.
You know, when JFK walked in,
he
did something. At that point, who was that? There was someone, one very active, senior member of the NPP, and I asked if that was okay. You know, when he walked in, he was sort of catching fans, and the whole stadium just went gaga. Yes, it was so interesting that even when the president came in, that fans was no close to what JFK received.
Absolutely.
So I thought, is this a message that JFK could win this? Because the fans really went gaga for him.
Maybe they were loud, but there were not many. Because if you look at the results, it was close.
Yeah, but
the results was close. So 2,500 for John Boadu, 2,800 for
the
JFK.
difference is just 3-1-3.
This thing, what do you call it? Tescon did not vote. 290 something.
Yes.
It was widely believed that those were JFK's votes.
But it was actually said that if Tescon had voted,
it would have been wider.
JFK would have had more votes.
So the biggest winner for the night was in team in terms of the gap. He did 4,000 and Asamoah Watson did 1,000 something. It did 72%. In team was the biggest winner for the night.
Kate was the biggest winner.
Well, Kate's electoral college was smaller.
Yeah,
yes.
So once
so if you look at numbers,
once the colleges, the nominal terms,
percentages, Kate,
but nominal terms,
in team,
in team
sort of grabbed it.
So
but the JFK one also put him about 51%.
51.3.
51.3.
As against 48 points.
So that's a clear majority. That's a clear majority.
Yeah, 51.3, clear majority. It's still close.
So what
you
are the
48% of the delegates did not feel that JFK should be
absolutely 48.7. So
almost
almost
on your
49.
research, if you extrapolate this out of the delegates and think of the larger MPP, would it reflect the same, do you think, or will it reflect a bigger victory for JFK, or would it turn it upside down?
The electoral college effect on the general population is up to about 35%, not up to 50%.
What does that mean?
So if all delegates were to decide for Ghana, if NPP delegates were to decide for Ghana, their impact would only be about 35% of Ghanaians' decision of the population.
But I'm talking about the MPP.
Yes.
Not all Ghana.
So reflecting this on the party, it will represent about 35% of the party's general views.
I see. That's interesting.
Yes.
So that the delegate voting is not representative?
It's up to 35% representative.
Even when you have, for the presidential candidate, you have 100,000 people, all polling stations.
Yes, then they would have increased. This one is
6,
for only constituency executives. If they add five polling station executives,
that's the one that takes it to 100,000.
They would have increased.
With that, what is the impact on the greater party? Is it still 35%?
No, that would be more. Once you add on more, the percentage increases. I don't know how many. I've not done that estimation. How many is that one? So
120,000 or so for the presidential candidate.
That would be very great. So that one would be about,
because that includes all polling stations.
All polling stations.
Yeah, about 27,000 polling stations.
Yes. Then they should cross about 50 to 60%. In fact, in whatever angle we look at, still the party pay structure 5 per each polling station up to the national level will still be around just about 60%. You can't get to 70% of the party membership views because you will still have a larger college of all.
So
members.
you feel that your predictions in the Saturday event were all correct?
All.
Really?
All. We can check that of Chairman in Team's map, clear win for him. The D-Day gave him a clear win. The ones that was too close to call was that of the General Secretary. And in my view, the outcome is still a close one.
So what made the changes for JFK? specifically.
Yeah, he perhaps did his final laps very well.
Is it possible that, you know, at the time he walked in, I said he was receiving some funds, is it possible any delegates could have changed their mind upon seeing that?
Yes, you're right. Because they see the majority are going
a certain way.
So that works.
Sometimes they call me, even me, and they say, Doctor, how is the research going? Which party is winning? We don't want to waste our votes.
Yes, they say that.
If a delegate tells me that, then I am careful. Undecided. So
the frenzy in the event center can change something.
It can.
Yeah.
So then you can rent people to come and do choboy for you. So
absolutely, and I'm told some people rented people.
Oh, I see.
To do
that.
You
know, where we were sitting, we're all sitting under, like where, I don't know,
the
VIP,
media.
whatever,
Yes.
You have people walk through and they're carrying placards of the various candidates and they're campaigning for them along.
Yes.
Because that's where the delegates are sitting.
Yes.
So they walk through and they're making noise and there's so much music and dance and they keep going round until you can see one person come round about 5 times. Yeah. And
it's name recall and all of that. So that can sway a delegate?
It did.
So
if you're a delegate,
could there be
you don't
delegates
want to
who arrived at the stadium
undecided?
What percentage of it could be?
These are delegates, and I'll be surprised if a greater number of them came undecided. In fact,
most of them were decided.
Most would have been decided, and rather minds were unable to change. To some extent.
Oh, I see what you mean. So that whatever money may have been paid, if it was paid, it would not change anything
at all.
So contestants should learn not to pay money on the day of the event because it won't change anything.
If you do so at your own risk.
You pay the money before, if you have to pay.
Yeah, if you have to pay. I like the second.
Yeah, that we always have to say that. If you have to pay, you pay before.
You see.
But if you want to pay, don't pay on the day of when they have arrived at the event venue.
And the payment should be after you have established that relationship with them. Relationship comes first, your message goes next.
They need to appreciate
it. Then you can do that. But if you are lacking with the message, if the relationship is not there, money alone, these are delegates, for Christ's sake. These are the core of the MPP membership.
You know, with Kennedy Japan actually told me, and I felt, in fact, it shook me a bit when he said it. He said, there's going to be surprises. And he was sure.
Yeah.
And knowing Kennedy Japan, the way he puts it, I knew that something was going to happen to the bigger predictions we had made, especially in the area of General Secretary. And Nana Benyi Bisu as well, even though he had opted out, we still had delegates vote for him.
Yeah, he got 12.
Yes, and they said, we don't care.
He's quite articulate, actually.
Right, very articulate. I had an interview with him, Good Afternoon Ghana. That was prior to the elections when he was in the race. And then when he stepped down, he came on Good Afternoon Ghana again that very day. And then at the stadium, we had a discussion with him while he was not more in the race. And I thought no one was going to vote until after the elections were called. They still voted for him.
Even though he was he's a good guy that I think they should use. He's very articulate.
Right.
Have you done something on the presidential race coming up? That's the next big story at the NPP. Parliamentaries are going to be elected first, though, but the presidential is the next big one. Now, from what happened, and I was asking that question on the touch screen, which camp should be excited by what has happened? Or everybody should be excited? Because both camps are claiming victory. 2 or 3 camps are claiming victory from what happened.
It tells you the entire political party should claim victory. And the chairman rightly put it out. Outgoing chairman rightly put it that way. That at the end of the day, it's the party.
You have to encourage your supporters.
That has won. But looking deep into the events that came, I think some sides should be happy.
And some should be worried.
Yeah, some should be worried. Yeah.
Well, the point about the JFK thing is that establishment candidate did not win. Yeah, the whip system, as you said, did not work. So if you're a presidential candidate, try not to be the establishment candidate. Is that what people should be looking at?
Partly, but you see,
but is it true the establishment thing didn't work? As I was saying, the Nana Boadu, so can also be called an establishment candidate. He won. However, narrowly, he won. Unexpectedly narrowly, I should say. in team as well, could be thought of as the establishment candidate, even though he has a life of his own over the last 5 attempts. He has a life of his own. But he was not significantly opposed by the establishment.
At all.
So, yes, you can
but
call
the
that.
establishment supported.
Yes. So, establishment didn't lose everything on Saturday, did they?
No, not at all.
But they lost a key one.
Exactly. I mean,
the very
general
key one.
secretaries are the CEO.
They lost a key one, a really key one.
Yeah.
Because having John Boadu there makes a difference for the establishment if that's what they wanted. If you don't get your man as the general secretary, that's a major loss.
But at the end of the day, my view is that the party actually won.
So when do we get another research from you? Where are you going
next?
next?
we next is the opposition NDC. They are also putting things together to start the process. I think they should be behind time, so they should double up. We will follow through with the things they would be doing, and then we will share with you some of the expectations Ghanaians would be.
And eventually you will do the 2024 elections.
Oh yes, I did 2020 presidential.
Did you get it right?
Yes.
What was your prediction?
51.4. The NPP got 51.3. 47 for NDC.
You are great like that. You are great like that.
You're a suspect.
What was the sample size of your interview in the 2021?
I did both qualitative and quantitative, and I have strength with the qualitative than the quantitative than the qualitative, because everything else will come down to numbers. Everything else will come down to numbers.
So what is the sample size for the 2020?
The sample size for the 2020 for the qualitative was about 15,000, and for the quantitative was the numbers from the base, polling station by polling station numbers. We match deviations or dispersions from one election to the other. So let's take 92 out. We worked with 96, 2000 up to 2012, up to 2016, and we matched out the diversions or the deviations, and then we did error analysis of the dispersions, so that no matter how the data fluctuated, we can still get a fine average based on which we can forecast. The things that went into the establishment of the fine average. I remember I was having a conversation and I mentioned lambda, a tuning parameter, and all those things, and Kwame Sefaka was like, keep that one to yourself.
We'll talk again. That's a good one. Thank you very much, Dr. Smart. We'll talk again.
Most welcome.
So I'll leave you,
Is
Annie.
Smart your real name?
Yes, Smart's my real name. Friends who have studied in class with me still think it's my nickname.
Oh, I see.
In fact, I thought it was your nickname.
So you are Dr. Smart Sarpong.
Sarpong, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So is it a name that's having an impact on you, or
That he's so smart.
He's smart? It's smart because research is difficult. Sometimes your margin of error can be very wide, but you seem to have a very little. What so margin of error normally do you record? Like 0?
0.9 in the general elections 2020. Accuracy 99.99 in Ashanti region.
Whoa.
Yeah, and this one we are doing a margin of error about 0.12. Yeah, so far.
So that's your background, statistics?
Yes.
Or your background is engineering?
No, statistics and data analysis.
And data analysis.
Yeah, I'm a fellow of the Data Science Research Center, Seoul National University, South Korea, and the director of research and innovations at Kumasi Technical University.
I see. We'll leave it here. Annie will continue with the show. And so that's our take on Saturday's Congress. You can send your text messages in and it will be